It's the NBA 2K Sports as we get set to bring you all the action. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg with Doris Burke reporting from the sideline. Welcome to New York City, the home of the Knicks. And of course now Jared Bates. He won't be an option for them.
You know what the trade means?
Don't you dare be sour! And feel the power! Damn, son, where'd you find it? Do your metro, though. Trust me, beautiful morning. Yeah, it's on the morning, babe.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. DDG94 here with another NBA 2K MyCareer gameplay. Today, we are taking on my old team, the defending champion New York Knicks. You know, I'm surprised that they don't show you getting your ring, even though you left the team. Like, you left the team, but they don't show you getting your ring. But anyways, though, yeah. Yeah. So, we taking on the New York Knicks, my old team. We don't care about them.
Great hustle to turn the block shot into a fast break hoop.
Yeah. You see the title, you know why you clicked on the video. I wanted to talk about this real quick because this has been I've been trying to follow up on this because I've been knowing this is the main reason why I do this today, man. These guys are the main reason why I do this today. I wanted to talk about the creatures. Now, for those of you who don't know who the creatures are, they've been around since like 2010. So if you don't know who they are, understandable. You don't have to watch this video, but just understand these guys were the reason why I started doing the video game side of things. You know, these guys introduced me to a lot of stuff outside of, 2K and WWE and all this other garbage, you know what I'm saying, that I play now. They introduced me to a lot of other stuff, man. These guys were my inspirations. And some people probably see this video, probably searching up this video in the search box, trying to figure out what's going on, and so you probably clicked on this video. I'm not here to explain what's going on. I'm not going to do that. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm just here to talk about, my memories with the creatures, and and just speak out, on how I feel about, what has happened now, where they are now. So I've been with the creatures. Let me put it like this. The first person I watched was James, hands down. I watched Uber Haxanova, hands down. He was the first guy I knew. I was looking for WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2011 videos because nobody was doing a playthrough on it, and I stumbled upon him. And the thing was, he didn't just play the game; he had commentary over it. I was like, ooh, he had commentary. And the thing was, when I first ran into James, dude was just funny as hell off the top. Off the top, dude was just funny as hell. I just laughed at every fucking thing that everything that he said in the video. And then I went back, I subscribed, I tried to watch a couple more videos to get to know him a little better. And then I found out, he was doing a Dead Rising series with Spoon, who I found out, I thought James was funny, but then I got introduced to Spoon, and I just subscribed to Spoon right away. Okay, so we put it like that. So then, they started playing Minecraft. They actually introduced me to Minecraft because I didn't know shit about Minecraft till they started playing it. Then it went, and then along came Kutra, then Gassy, Z, Sheamus, and then they just took off from there. Then they started doing podcasts on Ustream. You know what I'm saying? They started doing creature talks on Ustream when they were all separated and isolated all over the place. It was back when it was like a 9-man roster too, man. It used to be so funny, man. It used to have it was Kutra, Dan, James, Sly, Sheamus,
As a team, not just a couple of guys.
Chilled, and Chilled, Z, Spoon would join on occasion, and Junkyard. I remember that like it was yesterday, man. I used to love hanging around those. I used to love just listening to Creature Talk. Obviously, the most infamous Creature Talk of that era, when it was a 9-man roster, obviously had to be the one where they brought Lyle on and they had him do the they had him do the questions about the silverback gorilla. I think we all know about that one, especially Sheamus. Shout out to Sheamus, by the way. So yeah, man, and things just started going from there, man. I just really got invested in everybody, man. I really did, you know. Then they broke out into the house. That's when Junkyard and Chilled, they decided to leave the Creatures, which was understandable. They didn't really want to jump into it right away. Z was in college, you know. Spoon wasn't really ready for it yet, but he was down, you know what I'm saying? He was still down for the group, but he said he'll move out there eventually. But Spoon wanted to keep doing his own thing for right now. And that was cool. You know what I'm saying? It was cool. And then they all move out into the house together, and that's where it seemed like they really started to take off. They really started to take off when they moved into the first Creature house, the big ass mansion that they used to have, the one where they used to film Bunny Bus. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were. It was like the beginning. It was like seeing the beginning of an era. You know what I'm saying? The beginning of an era that was going to like change on YouTube drastically. You know what I'm saying? But these guys, they were just being themselves, and it was funny to just see them be themselves. You know, the Creature Talks were hilarious. You know, anything that they put out was hilarious. Whether they was playing Minecraft with each other, or they was playing some game with each other. You know what I'm saying? It was always funny. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Always, you know, somebody, Kucher always trying to fuck over somebody, and then he ultimately gets shitted on at the end by somebody. It was just fun, man. It was just fun. It was good times, you know. The Halloween streams, the Christmas streams, you know, everything was just pure comedy. It was just hilarious, bro. Anything that they put up was watchable because you knew it was just them being them. Then they move into the second house. They lost before they moved into the second house. They had a problem with Gassy. Gassy got ultimately kicked out. It wasn't that much bad blood because as soon as they got rid of Gassy, they initiated Alex into the group, and they just moved forward. And you know what I'm saying? Gassy moved forward with his YouTube channel. You know, he's still doing his thing. I'm still subscribed to him. Been subscribed to him for a long period of time. Don't plan on unsubscribing from him anytime soon. You know, then, you know, like when they moved into the second house, it was like they took everything to another level. Like, they started doing like more skits, they started doing movie nights, more skits and stuff like that. Just more content. You know, the Creature Talks were now videos instead of like standstill pictures and them talking. It was actually videos now. Like, they had a camera, they were showing their faces and their reactions to certain things. You know, they had really stepped it up, and it was a really this was like when they were at their peak. This was like when they was at their peak. You know what I'm saying? This is like when they was at the top, and it was like there was no way they could come down. You know what I'm saying? As long as the group stood together, as long as nothing bad happened, nobody left the group and stuff like that, everything's gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? Then you know, they get into the Creature office, And it's like, okay, you thinking, okay, they moved up from 2 houses to an office. They finally got to the goal that they were trying to reach from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? From when they first announced that they were even going to move out to Colorado. You know what I'm saying? The goal was to get a creature office and start a business. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, things just started turning out for the worst, you know. Sly left. Then they had to bring in Kevin and Dex to replace Sly. Kevin got into a car accident. He didn't feel happy there. He left. Dex, ultimately, he made a video recently about his time with the creatures. He said he wasn't happy and he left. Then just a couple of days ago, James and Alex just announced that they left to do their own thing because, you know, they couldn't, because everything, it just seemed like once they got into the office part, like once they finally reached their goal, it just seemed like everything was starting to go downhill from there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they went from being themselves to trying to be more kid friendly, you know, and that's the worst thing you can do. That's the problem with the WWE today. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody watches WWE because, one, it's too predictable, but not only is it predictable, it caters more to a younger audience. It doesn't cater to everybody else like it used to. They don't grow with their audience. They try to take steps back to, you know, they take steps backwards to grow with a new audience. They try to move in with a new audience instead of try to grow with the audience that they've already built. And I mean, for some companies it could work, but for those guys, they shouldn't have went down that route. You know, you should have grew with your fan base instead of, you know, trying to move over to a new wave and trying to, you know, still try to generate those views off of, you know.
Here's Thompson, and Anthony sends it back.
Off of, you know, the.
Now a flop. He feeds it to Carmelo.
Still try to generate those views off of, you know, the people who have been subscribed to you for a long time. Because to be honest with you, I haven't been watching their videos as of recently. They haven't produced anything that has made me want to watch them. They brought back movie nights, but, you know, it's not, there's no skits. It's not with people who I would actually like to see give their thoughts and opinions on certain movies and stuff like that. It just hasn't been the same. You know what I'm saying? Everything has changed. I'm not going to be one of those people who say, oh, you know, they got all the interns doing all their work for them now and shit. They got the interns taking over and stuff like that. No, I'm not going to sit there and say that. I personally, I actually like, you know, some of the interns. I'm not a big fan of Spencer, but I'll probably say like Joe. I say like both the Joes, Artist Joe, Intern Joe. I would say those two are probably the most entertaining of the two out of interns. Steph, she cool, but everybody else. But it seems like, you know, they just don't. They don't translate to the people who have been watching them for so fucking long. And I don't like the fact of how they went from they tried to move into a they tried to move over to cater to a new fan base instead of growing with the fan base that they already had, which is mainly the problem with what's going on right now, which is why the dislike button is going up, which is why, you know, people are putting cows and knives in the comment section. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not what it used to be. And the thing is, though, as much as you would want to sit there and shit on them, I would never shit on them, because no matter what, I can never hold back on the memories. I'm thankful for the memories that they gave me. I'm not gonna unsubscribe. I know that's hard work. Actually, if there was anything to take away from the creatures,
they never got it.
It would be the motivation to build friendships with people who you barely even know and create something so great. You know what I'm saying? That's the one thing that you can never take away from what the Creatures were. It started off as something with just guys trying to network and be cool with each other, and then it turned into a business. That's a motivational goal, but I can never shit on them for it. I would never sit there and say Kutra fucked everything up. I never sit here and say, you know, the business practices fucked it all up. I would never say that. It's good to see that they went from just some weirdos on the internet to a business. And I think that's probably the one thing that I think we should all take away from this, is the fact that no matter what you say about them, they reached their goal. And even if the end result of the goal is something that you did not like, you cannot say that they didn't I'm trying to think of the word. They didn't satisfy us. They didn't run away from you know what they wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? It's just sometimes shit just goes left. You know what I'm saying? Shit just goes left, you know? And it's kind of sad to see where it all ended, you know? It hasn't ended, but, you know, it kind of feels like the end of an era. And now it's time to see what goes on from here. It's time to see what Sheamus does from here on out. It's time to see where, you know, the Creatures go from here on out. It's time to see where James and Alex go with their own thing going from here on out. So I hope everybody in the Creatures the best of luck. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to stick around with the Creatures. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to just walk away from them because, you know, James and Alex left. Because the thing is, I watched the Creatures because of them. I did not watch the Creatures because of James and Alex. They were not the main focuses here. I didn't mind watching a video where it was just Dan, Jordan, and the interns. I didn't mind it just being the interns. I didn't mind it just being Dan and Jordan. I didn't mind that. Because the thing is, I came up with those guys. I came up from the beginning with James and Dan. So I'm cool with whatever they decide to do going forward. I just personally feel like, in my personal opinion, I just feel like when you try to step away from one audience and try to cater to another audience, and then just hope that audience is going to follow you over, it's not going to work. That's the only problem that I have with all this. But other than that, though, those guys will always be my inspiration to me doing the shit. I hope that I aspire to be as big as they are. But at the same time, I feel like, and the one thing that I can take away that I honestly learned from them was that if you just be yourself, you will get over with who you're catering to. And that's who I've been. I've always been myself. That's why, you know, I do real nigga fake environment shit. That's because that's who I am. I just stick to who I am because that's all I know. If I try to be anybody else, I'm not going to succeed. You know what I'm saying? Well, I would succeed because there's a lot of fake ass niggas out here in this industry, in this YouTube gaming industry, that aren't really who they are. Who act, as I want to say. They act like they're somebody, but then they're not. Me, I just personally be who I am. So for those of you who don't know about this group or whatever, you don't have to go look them up or nothing like that. I just want to get my thoughts on this shit because these are the guys who inspired me to do this. And that's all I wanted to really say about this. I'm happy that they made the thing that you can't take away is that they made it as far as their goal, which is to get an office, build the brand, and be big. And that's what they did. They built their brand. They got big. And then once they got to the top, it just seemed like they just lost track of where they were. So yeah, man, that's pretty much all I got to say about that. I will see you on the next video. If you clicked on this because you're a Creature fan or something like that, you can leave something down in the comment section below. Other than that, I'm pretty much out of here. Till then, peace out.